Hey, it's Lindsay Clark with Classic Albums Live, and in just over 2 weeks, we're going to be playing the entirety of Heart's album Dreamboat Annie, note for note, cut for cut, at the Sanderson Centre in Brantford, Ontario, Canada, on March 10th of 2023. So, I thought I'd take some time today to show you the banjo part for the title track from the album. So first up, let's talk about gear. I'm going to be playing a 5-string banjo today, and the capo is on the 5th fret, so it's going to be right where your 5th string comes in, and that's going to give you a resulting tuning of G, G, C, E, G. So the open strings of this banjo are now going to be tuned to that of a C major chord. Something else to know is that this kind of tutorial today assumes you have some basic knowledge of how to play a banjo, such as how to use finger picks, how to do your open rolls on a banjo. So if you're really new to banjo, I'd probably recommend you look up some tutorials. I know when I was starting out, the guys I went to were William Nesbitt, Happy Banjo Dude, and Banjo Ben Clark. I'm not related to that guy. So something that's very important to know about the Dreamboat Annie banjo part is that it's actually not possible to play it note for note live. And the reason for that is that it was definitely stitched together in post-production. And what I mean by that is that they took, I think, the first 2 lines of it, and the banjo player played those lines, and then he had another take of it where he didn't have the capo on, so he had access to different voicings of his chords, and I guess they liked a couple of those better, so they popped in the uncapoed chords in the final line. In specific, it is the D minor chord, or I think it's D minor 7, to a G chord. They popped those in from the uncapoed version and then went back to the capoed version. And what I mean here too as well is that you actually can't play those 2 chords in that voicing if you've got the capo on your banjo. Like, you don't have low enough notes to do it. So the first line of the song is a C sus2 to a C major chord. And we make that by putting our, I'm using my 3rd finger. I still think of my 3rd finger as the middle one because I played piano first. I'm going to put that on the 3rd string, middle string, fret 2, to make my sus chord, which sounds like this. And then I'm going to take it away and just play the open strings to make my plain C major chord. So C sus, C major. But we're going to do a backward roll, and we're only going to use the top 3 strings. So here's how that's going to look. It's going to look like this, super slow. Made a little mistake there, but I think you get the idea. So that's our first line, and we do that for quite a while. The C sus2 to C major chord, using our backwards roll on the top 3 strings. So our next part of the tune is a rootless F major 7 chord. And that just means that instead of playing F, A, C, E, we're just playing the C, the A, C, and E strings, and we're letting the bass player handle the setting of the context of the song by playing that F. So how we're gonna do that is we're gonna I'm taking my third finger, and I'm gonna put it on the second fret of the fourth string. Don't know if you can see that, right there. And we're gonna do more kind of like a standard forward-backward roll, but we're only gonna be doing it on the middle three strings of the banjo, and it's gonna sound like this. So after we've done our Rootless F major 7 voicing, we're gonna go back and use our C sus2 and C major pass again. That was this one that sounded like this. We are really getting our mileage out of that particular pass of chords. We will go back to it at the end of the song as well with a little modification. So next up in our chords, we have an F major to F minor. Again, this is going to be kind of the forward-backward roll thing. Again, this only takes place on the middle three strings, and something I should have pointed out when you did your F major 7 rolls was that if we're playing the top, something including the top string, we're going to kind of anchor with our pinky on the face of the banjo. But sometimes if we're moving between, say, the top three strings and the middle ones, we might want to kind of anchor our pinky finger on the first string of the banjo, just to give us a little extra security as we move back and forth. So that's what I oftentimes do. But if you're starting out, just know that it may take you a bit of practice to go from anchoring your pinky on the face to anchoring your pinky on the first string. So the F major to F minor voicing is going to look like this. With my left hand, I'm going to fret string, let me check this out for a minute here, and check out my fingering for a minute here. This feels strange. Oh, okay, I guess it wasn't so strange. Okay, so I'm gonna fret string 2, fret 1, and string 4, fret 2, to give me my F major voicing. And then I'm going to turn that into string 1, fret 2, and string, sorry, I misspoke. String 2, fret 1, string 4, fret 1, to get me my F minor voicing. So if I misspoke, just to clarify that again, to do F major, we're at string 2, fret 1, and 4, fret 2. That's F major. And for F minor, we are string 2, fret 1, string 4, fret 1. So that's gonna, so again, we're playing just our middle three strings of our banjo. It's gonna sound like this. If I can get myself comfy here. Now, I went around there a few more times than you need to, just to show you what that's all about. So things are about to get pretty interesting here. Again, we're going to use just the middle 3 strings of our banjo. And we're going to do, in terms of our chords, we're going to do C major, C augmented, C major 6, C dominant 7. Now that sounds kind of scary, but the best news is that we can do that with one finger sliding up our fretboard, and it will look like this. So for my C major, I'm just going to play open strings. C augmented, I'm going to do string 4, fret 1, C major 6, string 4, fret 2, and then C dominant 7 is going to be string 4, fret 3. So it would sound like this in sequence. And you really hear that walk up of that note. So I would say if you fluff anything, fluff the other notes, but make sure people hear that rising string line. So when it's arpeggiated, it's gonna sound like this. I'll do that one more time. And something I will point out is you will hear little imperfections and mistakes in what I've set out here. That is part of learning, that is part of mastery, is that mistakes are to be expected and respected and inspected so that you learn and grow. So I have great news for you. You only have 2 more chords left to go here before we get back to our C sus2, C major progression. And again, they're going to be on our middle 3 strings. So those 2 chords are D minor to G7, and the voicings are going to look like this. Now, just a sidebar for a minute, these are the 2 chords where I said we don't actually have the notes to play it as it was on the record, unless somebody came up to me in the show and like took my capo off for those 2 bars and put it back on again. But I don't have anyone like that. So as kind of like a bonus content at the end of the video, I'll show you what those chords really sound like with the capo off. But for our purposes right now, here's how I'm going to be playing these 2 chords on show day. So our D minor is going to be like this. We're going to have a finger on string 2, fret 1, and then fingers on string 3, fret 2, and 4, fret 2. So again, string 2, fret 1, string 3, fret 2, string 4, fret 2. It's going to sound like this if we just play those particular strings. And then to get my G7, all I have to do is drop string 4, fret 2. I'm just going to take that finger, fresh. It looked like I was flipping the bird for a minute. If I had pearls, I'd be clutching them right now. But that will kind of happen. As you flick that note away, it will look like you might be flipping the bird to people. So I will try not to do that. But without that note, it sounds like this. So we've got the root, the 5 and the 7 of the chord, we are missing the 3rd, so it's kind of an open thing. And from one to the other, it sounds like this. arpeggiate it using my kind of standard roll that I'm using, it's gonna sound like this. Whoops. To our lovely C sus C major pattern, but there is a bit of a gotcha here. So what the banjo player did here is he starts it the same way. Now he's not going to do this for the whole rest of the song, but he does it I think for about 8 bars, or maybe it's 16, where he does this. He does, whoops. Go over here. That wasn't the note, this is the note. We're going to fret string 4, fret 4, and then we're going to go so I'm hitting strings 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 2, when previously I'd just been doing that pattern with 1, 2, and 3. So your thumb will have to shift from string 3, that's the middle string, to string 4. So what that's going to sound like is going to be like this. And from there, we're just gonna go back to our standard C sus to C sus thing. So this is exciting because as of right now, we have all the pieces. And as I mentioned, I'm gonna do the final 2 chords, like the real voicings for the D minor 7 to the G7 as a bit of bonus content at the end of it. All right, stay tuned. I'm about to put it all together. All right, you banjo maniacs, are you ready to hear what this is all gonna sound like? Here we go. And there you go. That is Dreamboat Annie on banjo. Enjoy, and bonus content coming up in a minute. All right, everybody, it is the banjo bonus round with your favorite banjo bish. That's me, Lindsay Clark. So I'm now uncapoed, and I can show you what the real voicings of those chords are for the D minor 7 to the D minor 7 to G dominant 7 in the final line of Dreamboat Annie. So, because it's uncapoed, I now have access to all the low notes on my banjo that I didn't have when I was capoed. So, the true voicing for the D minor 7 is we're gonna have, it's gonna be like this. So, to make that shape, I'm fretting my banjo. We've got strings 1 and 2 fretted at fret 3. We've got string 3, center string, fretted at fret 2. So again, strings 1 and 2 fretted at fret 3. String 3 fretted at fret 2. And if you're familiar with your forward-backward roll on a banjo, you can use it here. Ha! My thumb pick just got stuck in my hair. That happens sometimes. So you're gonna use, I think he may vary a bit, but if worse comes to worse, you can certainly use your standard forward-backward roll. If people are needing a refresher on the forward-backward roll, it's the one that starts on the middle string and goes like. So now I'm fretting my D minor chord. It's gonna sound like this. And now we get the payoff, which is now I can just play because my banjo tuning is open strings, I can just play open strings and do an open roll, an open chord backwards to get my G chord, like this. Wow, that was twangy. 1 second. Sound like this. So, to get from one to the other, it would sound like this. Do it one more time. And I'm not going to take it back to my C because I don't have it in the right voicing anymore. It's going to sound kind of wonky. If I wanted to play a C, it's now going to be like... That's not at all what our C sus2 to C shape sounded like when we were playing it, is it? Okay, thus ends the bonus content. Again, I'm Lindsay Clark with Classic Albums Live. And again, we're playing Dreamboat Annie, note for note, cut for cut, on March 10th, 2023 at the Sanderson Centre in Brantford, Ontario, Canada. And I hope you can make it that night. Bye for now.